Okay, today we're diving into a short, century-old book with a massive idea at its core. James Allen's As a Man Thinketh. The central idea is so simple, but wow, is it profound. It really has the power to change everything. So let's get right into it.
So let's just start with this question. What if every single thing in your life right now, your wins, your losses, your happiness, your challenges, what if none of it was luck? What if it was all actually built, piece by piece, by the thoughts you secretly hold in your mind? That's the wild idea we're digging into today.
And James Allen, he doesn't waste any time. Right from the get-go, he lays his whole philosophy out on the table. He says, your mind is the master power, and thought is the tool that shapes your life. But it's that last line that is just so radical. Environment is but his looking glass. I mean, think about what he's saying here. The world around you isn't just happening to you, it's a mirror, and it's simply reflecting what's already going on inside your head.
So when the book's title says, As a Man Thinketh, he means it literally. This is not some fluffy, feel-good mantra. The idea here is that your character, who you are at your core, isn't some fixed thing. No, it's the complete sum total of every single thought you've ever allowed to take up space in your mind.
Just think about it for a second. Nothing you do just happens. Every action, even the ones that feel totally spontaneous, had to start as a thought first. Allen calls them hidden seeds, and just like any other seed, they don't just vanish. They grow into something real. Your actions, your habits, and yeah, eventually your entire life.
Now, this is a huge concept, so how do we make it practical? Well, Allen gives us this one single, powerful metaphor that pretty much unlocks his entire philosophy. Your mind is a garden. And what's so brilliant about this is the inevitability of it. A garden always produces something. There's no such thing as neutral ground here.
And this just lays out the two paths so clearly, right? If you don't intentionally go in there and plant useful seeds, thoughts of focus, courage, purpose, then useless weed seeds of fear, doubt, and confusion, well, they're going to fall in and take over all by themselves. A neglected mind doesn't stay empty, it just fills up with weeds.
So the whole goal becomes to step up and be the master gardener of your own mind. And this is not a passive role. It means you are actively in there, pulling out the negative thoughts and deliberately planting and watering the positive ones. When you do this, you stop being a victim of whatever pops into your head, and you start becoming the conscious director of your life.
Okay, so how does this actually work? How does a secret, invisible thought turn into a solid, real-world situation? Allen lays out this super clear, almost mechanical process, and it all starts with this idea of crystallization.
It's really just a chain reaction. So first, a thought that you keep thinking over and over again starts to take root. Then that thought hardens. It crystallizes into a habit. That's the way you just automatically act. And finally, that consistent habit solidifies into the actual circumstances of your daily life. It's a straight line from internal thought to external reality.
And here's the kicker. This law is completely impartial. It doesn't care if your thoughts are good or bad. It just works. So you can see it here. If you plant thoughts of fear and doubt, you get these weak, indecisive habits, and that creates a life of failure and dependence. But, and this is the whole point, the exact opposite is also true. Plant thoughts of courage and self-reliance, and you cultivate these confident, decisive habits that lead directly to success and freedom. It's the same law. You're just using different seeds.
Okay, this next idea. This might be the most challenging one in the whole book. We are so used to blaming our circumstances, right? Oh, I can't succeed because of my situation. Allen just flips that script completely. He says your situation isn't the cause, it's the effect. It's that looking glass again, just showing you, revealing to you the kind of thoughts you've been growing.
All right, so we get the theory. Now what's the game plan? How do we actually start cultivating this mental garden? This is where we shift from philosophy to action. And it starts with understanding that real change requires a little sacrifice, specifically sacrificing those lazy, comfortable negative thought patterns.
So Allen gives us a clear 5-step guide, and you can really think about it in 3 phases. The first phase is all about self-awareness. You just start by watching your thoughts, and then you start connecting those thoughts to what's actually happening in your life. But the real game changer, the linchpin of the whole process, is step 3, setting a clear purpose. Because once you have that North Star, the final phase is all about creation. You focus your thoughts on that purpose like a laser, and you consciously build yourself up with the mental fuel you need to get there.
Let's just pause on this idea of purpose for a second, because it is everything. Without a central driving purpose, our thoughts just drift. They don't have any real power. purpose is the thing that gathers up all that scattered mental energy and focuses it, transforming it from a fog into a powerful beam that can actually get something done.
And Alan does not mince words here. He calls an aimless mind a vice, not just a weakness. And why? Because a drifting mind, a ship without a rudder, is completely at the mercy of every external circumstance, every passing fear, every little worry. But a mind with a purpose, it can steer itself through any storm and get exactly where it's determined to go. So what happens when we combine these two things, these cultivated thoughts and a powerful purpose? Well, this is where the real magic happens. This is where the conversation goes from just improving our own lives to understanding the force that drives all of human progress: vision.
You know, we tend to think of dreamers as being impractical, but Alan argues they are the most practical people on Earth. Just look at history. Every single great achievement started as a vision cherished in a single mind. Columbus envisioned another world, and then he found it. Copernicus envisioned a vaster universe, and then he revealed it. The pattern is always the same. The inner vision comes first, and the outer reality is then built to match it.
And this is where it all comes back to you, personally. Your vision, that high ideal that you hold in your heart, it's not just a fantasy. According to this philosophy, it is a literal promise of the person you are in the process of becoming. Your ideal isn't just some wish, it's a prophecy. It's a forecast of the reality that you will eventually create and unveil to the world, all built by the power of your focused, persistent thought. The dream is the seedling of the reality. So, in the end, it all comes down to this one profound, empowering responsibility. The vision that you glorify in your mind, that's the blueprint. The ideal you place on the throne of your heart, that's the raw material. You are the builder. And with all of that power in your hands, the only question left is, what will you choose to build?